Hi, it's Monday the 5th of August. Welcome to Together Unlocked, brought to you as part of our Join In From Home programme from Together 2012 CIC. I'm Ju Gosling, artist and artistic director of Together 2012. With me in my East London studio is our chair, the artist Julie Newman. I'm going to come back to East London for a few audio descriptions in a minute. But first, at the other end of a very long virtual sofa in the West Midlands are...
Hi, I'm Josh Surgeonator. I'm one of the hosts of Together TV and a research PhD student. And I have swept over blonde hair that's getting longer and longer. A little bit of facial hair that's getting longer and longer as well. Drew goes for the corona crop. I'm going for the anti-corona crop. And I'm wearing a green t-shirt that has outline in gold of kind of the geometric lion heads on either side.
Hi, and just for those who don't know, this is that's a London Raw t-shirt, which was Adam Peaty's swim team in a big swimming competition.
Big professional.
Yeah. And he has the massive lion tattoo on his arm, so it kind of all sticks together. So, sorry, I'm Robin Surgeonator. I am business director at Together 2012, and also co-host of Unlocked. Also, Angry Fish is my artist's name when I am being an artist. Today, I am wearing my my new indie band haircut. Actually, yeah, I've gone back 20 years. I look that much younger, other than the colour. I have black armed, no rimmed glasses. Again, I'm sporting a growth of facial maturity, and yeah, that'll do. And I'm wearing actually a really lovely t-shirt. It's a brown based t-shirt, but then it's got 3 horizontal stripes in green, gold, and red. And it says Exodus, and then 1977, and Bob Marley. No, what is it? Movement of Yar People, which is very complicated. But essentially, I got this from it was a really good show that was on at the Birmingham Rep, and it was kind of the Bob Marley story, really. And it's probably one of the most favourite shows I've been to, because at the end they broke like when they finished the show as such, but then it turned into a reggae gig quite deliberately, and they just got the audience up on the stage, the cast came into the audience and were dancing with everybody. So it's absolutely brilliant. And I bought a t-shirt. So there you go.
And that's the kind of show we look forward to starting again soon.
Yes.
So I'm Ju Gosling, as Josh with the blonde, query ginger hair said. I have a self-administered corona crop. Pennard looks like a moth's taken a bite out of this one side. Oh, no, this side with the mirror.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I started cutting my hair and realised I just hadn't got time. But if you look at the dog, he looks like a giant moth's attacked him because, yeah, he just loves to have really short hair. But I think it's time, isn't it? It's like the Unshaven. All of us presenting this show are in the shielding group. That means we've had limited or no access to our usual social care. So quite how smart we are is quite dependent on how busy we are and what access we have to the outside world. I wanted to finish my audio description. Tut. So I have black plastic glasses, I have silver jewelry, I have black wrist braces, and I have a green t-shirt with equality written in pink. Not that you could read it because it's split in two, but that in theory is what it says. Julie, what do you look like?
Lovely. Today's one of my better days. I've got silver and gold hair, dark rimmed glasses, and today I'm sporting a very hygienic white t-shirt.
Rather bravely, because there's quite a lot of dog fur blowing around the studio today. Wednesday, we have a number of regular features. We have poems from the Together Pop-Up Poetry Club, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a minute. We have our Clockwork Paralympics. We take part in the International Virtual Teddy Bear Hunt. And just to mix things up a bit and to make up for the lack of opportunities to participate in real sport, we race toys to see which of the teddy bears is going to wear a medal this week. We also have a view of the outside world through the eyes of Julie's assistant's dog, Virtual Nature Watch. We talk gaming and sport, and particularly the drama, the aesthetics, and the design. So we might pick up those things around tattoos and imagery and so on after about 3:30, when we will also be telling you a lot more about the Joining from Home programme. But we wanted to start just by expressing our sympathies to the people of Lebanon, and particularly the citizens of Beirut, being in East London and indeed in a property that was very substantially damaged by the war here, 60, 70 years ago. Our hearts go out to them, and that's really all I can say. It's just such an awful thing to have happened. If you've got family members out there and friends, then, we just hope you hear some good news soon. We also wanted to say, for anybody who hasn't heard the news so far, if you're in Aberdeen, there is now a local lockdown. The four of us and the rest of the Surgeoners have only just officially come out of shielding. So I think it's been a bit of a shock to all of us this week to realise that lockdowns are already increasing again. And indeed, for anybody who hasn't seen it, the rates around Hackney and City of London, which are very close to Newham, where we're based, have been going up quite steadily over the last 2 or 3 weeks. The new figures come out tomorrow. So I would check. The BBC News app has a very useful checker, and you can see where the cases are going in your borough, whether they're going up, whether they're going to go down, and how they compare to the national rate of infection. And that's really helpful now we're out of shielding in terms of making those critical personal decisions. But Julie, we had, is it now the third session of our pop-up poetry club since it successfully migrated to the telephone? How did that go?
It was lovely. It always is. It's so nice to touch base with people and to be able to share some time with each other. Overall, I guess it's about an hour that we spend actively with each other, and it's it's a very special time. I think for those who don't have any internet access, it has a particular relevance because this is the only contact other than the weekly calls from the engagement support guy, Noel, or Alison, our project leader who does the tutorials. They don't really have a chance to talk to anybody else within the groups. The people that we're used to seeing on a weekly, a regular basis. So, yeah, it's been really great.
Yes, I think for anybody who's new to Together or to the show, just to explain, we started as a festival organisation, and we were talking about this briefly before we came on air. We were very inspired by the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I was fortunate enough to be invited to take an exhibition to the Edinburgh Fringe, I don't know, about 2008, 2009. And I've worked there previously on a one-off production. And it is just a wonderful collection of acts from all over the world, all self-financing and taking over community halls, churches, probably even public toilets, and turning them into these venues which are very intimate and very pop-up, but bringing those world-class performances, and also somebody's sixth form show, somebody's student show, people trying things out before the West End. The Fringe is just a wonderful collection and would have started this week. So for everybody who has had a show ready to go since Christmas, because that's the kind of planning that you have, again, we feel, well, our sympathies go out to you if you're doing anything online instead of going to the Fringe. I know a lot of disabled artists and companies now do go. Then let us know. We'd love to invite you on the show. We'd love to hear about what you're doing. if it's possible to present it digitally, I am still offering commissions for our annual Disability History Month festival, which is kind of how we started. We haven't talked for a while about how we began, but we were a one-off project for 2012 to celebrate the London 2012 Paralympics with the local community led by locally based disabled artists. And right from the start, we were supported by Robin, also known as Angry Fish, even though he's in that well-known London borough of the West Midlands. We ended up dividing our festival and doing half of it in November, December for various reasons. And we were then asked to carry on, not just to run an annual festival in Disability History Month, and we now run a 4 or 5 week festival that's the focus of our artistic programme. We also, since 2013, have run a year-round outreach programme, and that's what we call our clubs programme. It's completely free, so are our performances, exhibitions, screenings, and everything else. It's open to any disabled person who wants to come with anybody they want to bring with them. Obviously, they've got to be able to get to East Ham, but we do usually have people from Kent and Essex and Hertfordshire, as well as from London. And we do different creative activities on each day. So Wednesday would usually be our pop-up poetry club, where we all come together about 10:30, and over a hot drink and a biscuit, we go to our poetry shelves, we randomly select a book, we flick through, we find a new poem, we read it out over our cup of tea with other people. We might do a bit of breathing or performance exercises, but generally we would then sit down, write a poem on a given theme, and share them at the end of the morning. It's not possible to translate that over to Zoom because most of the people in our clubs just don't have that level of access. So it's taken us months to do something as simple as set up a telephone group, and Julie will just explain a bit more how it works.
Essentially, what happens is that Noel, our engagement support worker, is notified that you want to join, and he gets your phone number. He will phone you. You will wait in a queue with everybody with this awful little pretend music happening. And then once everybody's all together, the music stops, and then where you're sitting is where you... No, that's not... That's a different game, isn't it? Yeah. So when the music stops, you're all together and you start talking. The first half of the session is led by Alison Marchant, and this week's theme was light and shade, or shade and light. So she sort of guides us through. Everybody has a poem, or most people have a poem to read out, either on the theme or something that they've written, if they haven't been able to get out and find a poem elsewhere. And then we have a break for half an hour and write our own poems, and then we come back together in the same sort of system and we share each other's poems. And throughout this, Alison invites people to make comments on what's been read out.
And like I say, that's the third time. It's been very successful. One of the key points to make is we pay for the calls, because that was a critical thing for us. Yes, we tried all of these whizzy internet-based systems, but actually they didn't do what we want, which was just good old-fashioned group telephone call with the host paying the bills. So please, if you're interested in joining the Poetry Club, I'm going to put our email address on the screen, but just info@together2012.org.uk will be absolutely fine, guaranteed to reach us. We would love to hear your poems and share them on this show, whether you're in the Poetry Club or not. And I know last week, Julie, you gave us the theme for the coming week so that people could join in from home. What's the theme of this week's?
Next week.
Next week, yes, but for this week, to write this week in order to...
It's positive and negatives. So that can be about finding something positive in a situation, finding something negative in a situation, about the balance. So, you can say, well, it's a sunny day, but it's too hot. So that's a positive and a negative, all in one sentence. So, you know, it's sort
You're
of
just
basic
awesome,
story.
Julie.
I know, I'm so good. I'm on a roll at the moment. So yeah, it's that's the theme.
Yes, I think this is testimony to the quality of how much our program has improved since, thanks to the National Lottery Community Fund, we were able to employ 3 artists part-time to deliver the club's program, led by Alison Marchant, who's an international installation artist, and with Hazel Brill, who's an international combined arts artist leading on the youth development program. So if people want to join in with that theme, they can write over this week and send it next week. But yes, if it was me still running the group, we would have been doing something like summer weather, which I would also personally have found easier to write about. But Robin, I know you took up the challenge to write a poem on the theme for today, which was light and shade. Shall we start with you reading that?
Okay, you want my one first? Yep, that's absolutely fine. I'll find it.
How did you find it writing about that subject?
Well, I chose, first of all, I decided that I would make the challenge that I would write it in the same way as the group. So I literally made myself a cup of coffee. Everyone else was still in bed, so I wasn't disturbed. And I just sort of thought, I want to make something that is not necessarily about color and in terms of light and shade, but much more of a kind of essence of person and people's experiences of light and shade. It'll make sense, hopefully. Okay, so this poem is called Make Hay in the Grey. Bright light searing in the dead of night, dream states shattered at the flick of a switch, flames lick at tinder hearts, migraine, eye pain, driving people insane, blinded, blinkered, belligerent, hostile, harsh, harassing, the edifice of light, a false dawn, a juxtaposition of encounters. Not darkness. Murky hope peeks in through shaded offers of contemplative freedom. Nightmares tamed. Relief. Comfort. Swaddling auras warming souls. A place to feel. A place to play. A place to love. Make hay in the grey. A place to pretend. A place to emerge. A place to feel safe away from the day. A place to hide, a place to protect, a place to embrace, a place to reflect, a place to discover, a place to repair, a place to shelter from the glare of despair. While others suggest that light is the guide to love, lust, and happiness, you must decide. Do you want to be judged, to be put on display, or would you prefer to make hay in the grey?
Oh, that was fantastic. Thank you so much, Robin. I look forward to reading that on our highlights and links page. You can find that on our website under the main Together Unlocked TV link. And in the highlights and links page, we will be posting all of the videos and poems from today and links to anything we spoke about. Julie, you took up the challenge as well. So would you like to read your poem next,
Well,
please?
I was actually going to read Alison's. Sorry, I've got Alison's in front of me. Is that okay?
No, I want to hear yours next.
And we do.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes, yes,
it's
yes.
fiddling around now. I've got to.
I printed it out.
No, it's too small. Okay.
I don't know.
Excuse me. I welcome the dark. I welcome the dark. It carries no fear for me. My spirits rise as the world sleeps on, blissful, at peace until the dawn. No threat for me in the closing of the shutters, pushing out the day and sending away the warmth of night, of light. I love the night when all is still and sounds echo with a strangeness, becoming unfamiliar in a new world, where creatures call and fight, hidden in the shadows where the light no longer shines, but is dimly finding corners and nooks. Colours fade but gather a new power in their depth and mystery, They hold the secrets not yet seen by day. Yellows seem white, blues become black, and red no longer blaze in glory. Shadows loom where once the gloom was shining bright with light. I'm not afraid of the dark. It's welcome as a friend. The intrusions of the day no longer play on the surface of my mind. The night gives peace with time to think, undisturbed by the rush of other people's lives, alone with the creatures of the night.
Thanks, Julie. We've got several poems from Duncan Bridgestock, who's one of this morning's members. Josh, would you like to start with one of those first?
Yeah, so this is Parky by Duncan Bridgestock. I never had the blues and the greens, green of green, greens, park life, the green trees and the bees, and the ever such they are ever such a tease. Buzz, 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 and here comes the fuzz. And the cops love the hops. Hop, skip, and jump down a country lane is their refrain. In the park, there's lots of bark and fleas in the trees, where all the local yokels go for their bifocals. Green sleeves, green collar, green cuffs, green pants in the park. You can never get fit, but if you drop your litter, then you're a git. Take your litter back to your bedsitter.
Thank you, and thank you, Duncan. We moved our base from Stratford to East Ham about 7 weeks before we had to close, and Duncan's one of our new poets, so it's been great to see Duncan make that shift across. I've got a couple of poems here. I'm going to start with one of them from Dawn Barber. And Dawn is one of our longest serving volunteers and also active participants. So, you know, as somebody who has no internet access at all, it's great to have Dawn back. And this is Dark and Light. The trees are shining through my living room window. Some green leaves are blowing on them outside, making tiny little movements. Each time the leaves blow, another shadow appears. One of them looks like a spider, but it won't get in because it's only the shadow of the leaves. How the sun can do wonderful things. And thanks, Dawn. And as with everybody, we hope sooner rather than later you will be able to call in successfully and read your own poems. But in the meantime, Robin, I think you've got one of Dwayne Bryan's, who's one of our dancers, musicians, and poets.
I have indeed. Oh, okay. So this is The Earth by Dwayne Bryan. How the earth has changed from day to day. As I look up to the sky, I see birds fly. By the creation, a flower grows. Small bugs on the floor, creeping and crawling around in small moves, and not a sound. The sea filled with fish can look very tasty on your dish. As the waves beat upon the shore, it reminds me of so much more. You can say the earth's a beautiful place, and you can say the earth's an absolute disgrace. The oil spilling on the birds, on the sea, by the beach. The earth rotates around the sun, hot like a hot cross bun.
Great. It's so great to have Dwayne making work again. Thank you, Dwayne. Julie, you have a piece from Alison Marchant, our programme leader.
I do indeed. Light and shade. It's night, and the street lights cast shadows around the room, moving and flickering. Leaves and branches of trees in dappled shade glide across the mirror, reflecting and hovering in my sleeplessness.
Very evocative, Alison. And Alison is an installation poet, and she's really experimenting at the moment with text and how you can use that as description. So, really interesting to see what she's producing. Josh, I think you have another one of Duncan's.
Yes, so this is called Light and Shade. A voyage around me. I step out of myself and I look around at myself. From outside, half in light, half in shade, where aliens can't invade. And my shoes are made of suede, but my blues are not on parade.
Great, thanks. And I think in a minute we're going to finish with another of Duncan's. This is Dawn's other poem. It's called Gemma, and Dawn writes a lot of story and character-based poems. I mean, this was obviously written very quickly. There was a pretty little girl called Gemma who didn't have an umbrella. Poor little girl, she will get all wet. Time to save her pennies to buy a new one. She would like it to be red, so when it's pouring, she can put it over her head for a very rainy day. Gemma, the pretty little girl. And Angus Mackenzie Davey, who's one of our professional artists who supports the club, has been doing a lot of work with Dawn, Dwayne, and I think some of the other poets prior to lockdown to incorporate their drawings and animations and soundtracks. And there's a wonderful sort of poetry story around a frog that Dawn's developing for a family audience. So it's great to have that. So finally, from the West Midlands.
Okay, so yeah, this is another poem from Duncan, entitled "The Blues in My Flat." The blues in my flat are the blues where it's at. The blues in my head are the blues under your bed. The blues in your cupboard aren't so untoward. The blues in the loo, well, they will just have to do. The blues under the stairs will make you eat eclairs. The blues in the TV remote are the blues that get my vote. The blues in the washing machine will make you vent your spleen. The blues in the toilet flush are the blues that will make you blush. The blues in the microwave will make you go to a rave. The blues in the keyhole will drive you up the pole. The blues in your laugh make you look like a giraffe. The blues in salads, they come from Harrods. The blues in your food will be accompanied by Glenn Miller's In the Mood. That's the blues, dear Reds.
That is such a great one to finish with, and thank you again, Duncan. I'm going to put a short video on now explaining how you can join in our poetry programme from home. Oh, Julie.
Can I just say one thing? I think you mentioned Angus and the work that he's been doing with the guys. What was really noticeable to me today was the rhythm. I think the poems that we've read out have all got a rhythm to them, and it's almost musical, and I think the work that Angus has been doing was looking at beats and making sounds and da 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 and finding that rhythm, and it's really coming out now, which is lovely.
Yes, and actually, when I think about it, I think that's quite a feature of the work as a group. And certainly, I've found when I'm writing with the group that I've got a lot of rhythm in those poems. And it's been such good discipline for me. I'm not somebody who, I have performed spoken word in different countries, but I don't actually write very much, or didn't used to, until the poetry club came along. And I think Alison was originally, or different people facilitated it at different times, and then there was a long gap. So I would do my job in the boiler room of the community centre we were working in and scoot in and out in my wheelchair to run the poetry group. And if necessary, would sit down, or had time, I would join in. And as a result, I've got over 60, 70 poems. So I was able to go to an online poetry group last night with no preparation. And they said, oh, the theme's woodlands. And I went, oh, okay, I'm sure I've got 2 or 3 poems on that very subject. So it's not that you can write a masterpiece in half an hour. And I think very often, and as with these poems, people do go home and work on them for days and days and days and make them longer. And that was one of the comments I was making about Dawn's, because I know that poet well enough to know that it's going to go somewhere else. But it is such good discipline, and what you managed to come up with in that time was was quite amazing, Robin. So but anyway, like I say, let me just tell you a bit more through video of the poetry program that you can join in from home, and also some of the other activities. Together 2012 is running a Join In From Home programme from our website, together2012.org.uk. Click on the link at the top of the page, Join In From Home, to go straight to the main page, where you have a wide range of accessible, inclusive creative activities, mostly using things that you would already have at home. At the top of the page and throughout the pages, you will also see videos in British Sign Language to translate the site for deaf people. These videos can also be useful if you have difficulties reading and you simply want to hear more of the content. The Join In From Home programme is based on the activities that we would usually be running in East London. All of our activities can be enjoyed by families at home, but we also have some of our favourite activities here from our family activity days, which we usually hold in the school holidays. Card making with pens, stickers and paper is also popular. You can show someone you're thinking of them by making them a special card, and if it can't be delivered safely, then send a photograph with a personal message or keep it till later. Here we have instructions for making a sock puppet, a storage jar or night light, or a lunchbox or storage box, all of which are really popular with our family activity days, and you can click on each of these links to get full instructions. So with the sock puppet, for example, you have lots of instructions with photographs to show you exactly what to do. Same with the storage jar. And same with the lunchbox or storage box. And you can see how effective it is just to use very, very simple techniques. Everyone is completely unique. The Pop-Up Poetry Club meets on a Wednesday morning. We also run regular poetry projects and poetry cafes. We're inviting you to write or sign a poem on the theme of Together and send it to us to share on social media. We're also going to be publishing an anthology of the Together poems in November, and everybody who contributes will get a copy of the physical book. And I just wanted to not stress, because we don't want to stress at all, particularly over the summer, but just to explain that all of the activities on our Join In From Home programme are suitable for families. They're very much designed and tested at previous events to be inclusive of people from every impairment group and every age group. And a lot of them are particularly fun to do together. We'll highlight different activities on different days, but there's everything from making masks and producing a dance film, making a film about your home, joining in, adding your hands, very simple craft-based activities which allow you to participate in international installations. I'm aware from various conversations with parents that the number of activities available for young people has never been smaller. You're a family man who's also got a younger teenage daughter, our very own Emily. Have you noticed a dip in the offers in the West Midlands?
I mean, I think that there's very little going on out there. The few kind of places you can visit, Stratford is open. Stratford upon Avon, I should say, is open. The safari park is open, or at least bits of it. And we could, but like a lot of things, if you haven't booked it, we thought we would try and go just because we could go in the car. The whole point about the safari park is you're in your vehicle bubble.
You're very encouraged to not get out of the car with the lions and the tigers.
And it was booked up forever in advance because people are just so fed up of being in, so they're finding every opportunity to go out. And so we've been, and I think, even so the people I'm working with, our swimmers, it's all very self-organized entertainment, bike rides, walks by the canal, trips to the out to the riverside, going on a push. I mean, Emily and I went on a push today just to get some, thankfully able to go out and get some fresh air, which you don't get on the poolside, I can assure you. In fact, quite the opposite, because the chlorine levels are ramped up so high to keep it safe. I've had a cough every day from chlorine. But absolutely, and a lot of the kids' clubs, there's a few things going on, but normally all the schools have got is it King's Club, and King's Camp is a big one in the Midlands, and a lot of those just aren't running because they haven't been able to.
Yes, I mean, I think that's right. I mean, a lot of parents depend on a commercial offer, and they simply cannot make it work commercially. A lot of parents depend on public sector offers. Now, Newham, where we're based, and indeed was the main Paralympic host borough, has tried its best, really both offering funding for activities and coordinating that information, which is always critical. But people just haven't been able to provide it, because everybody has got to be able to make a living. Everybody's got to be able to do things in a way that they need to deliver them. However, the council has still managed to get together through the youth hubs quite a comprehensive Zoom-based and online program. So if you're based in Newham, do check out the youth hubs. I just put up the details with our website address. I'll put it up again before the end of the program. Email us at info@together.org.uk. We will pass on the information to you about the local offer. And just to say again, all of our activities are inclusive and accessible. Almost all of them you can do with what you've already got at home. If you've got friends who don't have internet access, or families climbing the wall, it only really takes a few minutes to explain most of these activities over the telephone. So try them, enjoy them, and share them. We'll leave it at there. So it's now time, Julie, for Precious Newman, the assistance dog, to report in from the outside world. She thought she was going to be pushed off camera because Merlot is in Suffolk, Stera's assistance dog. But fortunately for Precious, Merlot had a bit of a technical hitch, so he's already recording stuff for next week. And in the meantime, Precious goes outside into the yard to see what has changed in the last week. And because I have been gardening away, actually probably some things have. So let's see if we can get this up and you can give us a bit of commentary, Julie.
And off she goes. Yes, yes, checking it all. Yes, standing, pausing, thinking, looking. Oh, a little bark, Yes, I can bark. I can bark. I can bark. Yes, yes, I can. I can bark. I can shout. Yes. I can stand on furniture. I can bark. I don't know where my friend is today. Now she's having a little look round, and you can see things have changed. It's certainly tidier, and certainly there's more ornamentals around to look at. In fact, Precious is just now checking in case her friend has come to have a shout back. No, not yet. Oh, there's brother. Yes, hello, brother. I think I might go in again, she says now. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Here we go. Hello, here I am. Do I have a last shout? Maybe not. I don't know where my mummy is. She usually lets me in about now. Hello? Oh, my goodness. I don't know what to do out here. I have a little think about things. I have a little mooch around. I have a little look under the shed just in case. You never know what can be found there. There's a door. I wish I could get inside, but I can't open it because I don't have hands. Oh, there's my brother. What's he up to now? It's very pretty. Oh, well, I could shout again. Yeah, I could. Yes, I can. I can shout. I can sing. I can do most anything. I can shout. I'm a lout. Watch me shout. Out, out, out. Where are you, friend? Oh dear, Mummy wants me in again now. Oops.
Thank you for that, Julie. in a bizarre way, and it just shows how bored you can get in lockdown, even if you're really busy. I actually find it really interesting seeing what she does with the camera on her, because of course we've never done that before, and it's not the kind of thing that if Corona hadn't come along that I think we would ever have done. Although possibly I could be wrong about that, because I know Julie was very keen to buy the camera harness, and we did already have it when we started this live stream.
I had plans for the park, I'll be honest with you. I thought it'd be fun to take her, especially because there's a colony of feral cats, and I thought that could be quite interesting.
But I think one of the things it's made me realise is that when they bark outside, that is actually what they're doing. They're trying to get the other dogs in the neighbourhood to bark back at them. And our dogs have not been for a walk or outside this house for 4 months and counting. Same as us. But the other thing I found absolutely hilarious is that there's two gardens that butt onto ours at the bottom. They've both got dogs, and one of them has sounded so awful that I really assumed it was a pit bull or Nikita or something massive. It's just black and white spaniel. It just sounds. It's probably worth its weight in gold in terms of burglar alarm, but in fact they're just barking at this soppy spaniel who's barking back because they haven't had an opportunity, either of them, to meet other dogs on walks. Moving swiftly on to our Clockwork Paralympics. Each week, we choose a new teddy bear to represent the team, London 2012 versus Birmingham 2022. Most of our bears have been out at least once, so I am putting Anna forward, the ballet bear, complete with her little pink tutu, just to see if she can keep up the winning streak from last week. We have 2 new competitors, Clockwork Pigs. So what teddy bear or pseudo teddy bear do you have in Birmingham today?
Well, this is a teddy bear dressed up in a girl's suit. So there is a teddy in there, but she wanted to, be a girl for the day, which is absolutely fine. Called Jemima. I know that's an absolutely typical doll's name, but I think it's that's the style. She's got very fetching stripy pink socks for running in and running slippers, ready for this event.
And do you want to choose the toy in my right hand or the toy in my left hand?
Today we're going to go
left side of the screen.
No, other way. Yeah, so we're going the toy that you holding in that you release from your left hand, which will be on the right side of the screen as we watch it.
Of course, next week I'm going to have to change the track, because I reckon these guys who claim and probably are the most competitive family in the world, they've done all sorts of analysis about how the toys operate. They, as usual, will do the commentary with a little bit of audio description. So I'm just going to pop that into the stream now.
Okay. We're ready.
Oh, there's a cat interference.
I must say.
Or dog interference.
These giant creatures.
Are you being Jemima?
I am. I'm ready. Here we go. Oh my goodness. My pig has gone completely the wrong way. I think we've absolutely blown it. Oh no.
It appears that our pig hit the trough a little bit too hard. Free race.
Yeah, and there's something else is happening. Oh dear, what a terrible outcome.
Hit a pretty spectacular kind of 540 and went in the wrong direction. Oh, Ju, you're still muted.
Yeah, I got carried away in our excitement. It's not often that we win 2 weeks running. Hey. Here is a gold plastic medal, while the Surgeoners choose from their extensive family collection of the real thing. We depend each time, well, the few times we win, on our gold plastic Newham Council 2012 medal. But there you are, Anna. Julie, if you can put that on properly, I will put Anna up. I think we're going to have a chat off camera about how anybody knows the doll is taking part in the virtual bear hunt. But for anybody else who's a bit confused, the virtual bear hunt is a worldwide project so that children can see teddy bears in windows when they're out for walks, and if they're not going out for walks, or also on the screen. So if you've got a teddy and you want to give some young people a bit of pleasure, pop it on your screen, pop it in your window, and add it to the number of bears that people are hunting worldwide. So there's Anna, very happy with her gold medal.
Absolutely. Hooray.
And on that happy note, bye-bye, Jemima. We will,
never mind, Dumpty Dum.
We will hand over to Josh to give us his virtual gaming and sports roundup. And I'm just going to put that crawler on the bottom of the screen again to give you our email address and website address.
Yeah, so a few sporting items first. The NBA, or the National Basketball Association, returned last week, which is kind of the professional basketball league in America. And you can either pay a rather large amount of money to watch all of the games live, or you can just watch the highlights for free online. I recommend that unless you follow a specific team, because it's far cheaper given that it's free. And even if you don't necessarily like basketball, it's just something to watch as we kind of slowly run out of TV programs and sport comes back on. And then the other thing in sport, going into kind of the para sport element, which is much more our realm, is that the US last week, I think it was last Thursday, last Thursday or Friday, opened the US Olympic Committee Olympic and Paralympic Museum, which is this huge kind of new build museum to the US Olympic and Paralympic teams. It's got Hall of Fame things, and it's got a number of fixed exhibitions, and then has a number of kind of revolving exhibitions and shows and digital stuff.
So how much of it can you, I missed the beginning, how much can you access online? Because it's one of the things I think we'll probably come back to if we've got time, that the Olympics would have been on, you know, we would all have been, well, I say all of us would have been engrossed in the Olympics and taking time off, only saving our greatest enthusiasm for the paras, and poor old Tokyo still looking a bit iffy about next year. So we're going to put the link up on our highlights and links page along with everything else we've talked about today. Have they done virtual tours and things?
On the article that I read about its opening, it didn't mention anything about virtual tours for that. But it did have a link to an article for virtual tours of lots of other museums, which is I'm going to use for my something to do for the weekend on Friday. But what I did see is I am going to double check kind of once it's opened and everything's running, if they then put some more virtual stuff out. Because all of the things in the article were the kind of digital mock-ups of what it would be like rather than actual photos of the museum, which...
Yeah, I suppose also when people are working so far ahead, that copy was probably written before Corona struck, but at least they've had several months since then to plan some virtual stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they said kind of in the opening that it's being opened with kind of the COVID restrictions kind of fully in mind. There's markings on the floor of distances. They've got kind of digital number counters of how many people are in each kind of room, so they can limit it and kind of slow down flow if they need to kind of control how many people are within a certain area at one time. So it sounds like they've got a handle on what they need to do. But yeah, in terms of virtual tours, I'm going to kind of have a look before Friday, and if there are some stuff, I'm going to recommend it along with the other things.
Brilliant. And that's our spot, something for the weekend, always on a Friday, where we recommend things to do on and offline over the weekend. I mean, it just dawned on me that it's yet another example of the crossover between art and sport, as opposed to there being this perceived but fake division. You know, museums and galleries are very much part of the Arts Council's world, whatever the focus. And then, of course, you have all these designers and photographers and artists and huge numbers of creatives working in those sectors. But yes, what else have we got? what else is happening in the world of sport and gaming?
So I was going to talk a little bit about gaming and kind of some free games and free apps that you can do. I've been kind of going back through my phone at some of the old games that I've got that I just haven't played in years, because I needed something to do. I needed a bit of a distraction. So I've been playing a game that I've had on my phone for a long time, and I hadn't even thought about talking about, called Really Bad Chess, which is a chess game primarily, apart from the fact that all of the pieces are wrong. So rather than kind of having 8 pawns and then you can start a game and you've got 4 queens, 7 castles. It's kind of completely random, and they have kind of challenge boards each day that you get 2 tries to do, and then kind of just free play ones. But what makes it really interesting, as well as kind of the pieces being completely messed up, so if you don't really know how to play chess, it doesn't necessarily matter, because you're not strictly playing chess. It does kind of give you if you click on a piece, it tells you where you can go. But also you could play them against the computer. The computer doesn't have the same pieces that you have. In terms of so it is completely random, and it's just a great way to kind of distract yourself. It's a good bit of fun and a nice challenge if you like chess, I guess.
And just to grasp it, because I think I'm probably like lots and lots of people in the UK, got given a chess set as a teenager, never learned to use it properly, get it out occasionally to dust, but always wanted to learn. When you say it shows you where you can go, I think the stumbling block for me has always been that the pieces can all move in different ways. So does it reinforce that while giving you an easier game? Is that how it works?
It's not necessarily an easier game. It's just that you have lots of messed up pieces, in terms of they're not necessarily always they're the same. In terms of, yes, the different pieces move in different ways. So it's a black and white board, or white and kind of stripy board. And when you press on a piece, it will then highlight in blue all of the squares that piece can then move to. So yeah, if you have no idea, where this can go, it will just show you in a nice blue, very clear blue square. You can go here, here, here.
It sounds beautifully anarchic, the whole thing, that you don't get the right number of pieces, and then it's helping you by telling you those things. So that sounds great. That will be on our highlights and links page. What else do you have?
And then I was playing another game called Cody Cross, which again is another free game. And it's one of those kind of silly word puzzle. It's not really a crossword, because it only goes in one direction. It's only kind of horizontal. But each puzzle or level has a series of, you start with nothing. And then as you fill in each word, what it will do, rather than having to kind of, as a typical crossword, you fill it in and then you just have to figure out the rest. You fill in one word, and then it kind of sends a number of letters to fill in blanks on other words kind of down the list. And if you've got absolutely no idea what one of them is, and you know what the other 5 are, then by the time you get to it, you're only one letter missing. Then you can just go A, B, C, D until you get to the end. And again, it's just kind of, it's nice and simple. It's nothing. There's no kind of really out there, translate this phrase from Latin that you'd get in kind of the New York Times or anything. It's fairly kind of basic kind of clues. And yeah, it's just a good game for kind of 10-15 minutes of distraction.
And I think it is so important. We've talked a lot during lockdown, particularly during Mental Health Awareness Week, of the theme was being kind, but Robin said very sensibly and powerfully that the first thing we have to do is be kind to ourselves. There's a long journey ahead. Everybody benefits by just taking a break. And in terms of creativity, it's very mindful, isn't it? You know, playing around with one of these little apps, everything else disappears. If you've got a problem to solve, the theory goes that your brain can work away in the background and deal with the problem, and you can just have a play. Is there anything else that you recommend?
That was it on the main kind of free ones. I'm just conscious of the time, so I'll keep them for next week in case I can't find anything.
Yes, well, that's always good as well.
Ju, you made me think of those little grey cells, sort of very Poirot.
And making hay in the grey. And going back to poems, for some reason, YouTube has been sending us our live chat with a half an hour delay. So Renee Wallen made 2 comments about the poetry. I'm not quite sure which poem she meant when she said fabulous poem and beautifully read, but you can all take that as a compliment if you like.
I'll claim it as mine.
But what she did say that applies to all of you that contributed is these are all fantastic. What an amazing selection of poetry. I happen to know, Renee Wallen, that you are a poet of a great deal of experience, so we'd love to hear your poems on the theme of together or anything else. Yeah, we've got a few minutes left. What do we need to tell you first? On Friday, as usual, we will be back from 3 to 4 p.m. Our regular activities include dressing up to go out to stay in. That started during the New Zealand lockdown when they had formal Fridays where they put on ball gowns and then had Zooms. We thought it was much more fun to dress up for any activity you can think of, real or imaginary. Now, indeed, you may be dressing up to go out. In which case, in particular, if you're one of those people who's decided the only safe thing to do is a visor and a suit and goggles and so on, send us those pictures too. We had a good laugh at me dressed up to take in the shopping at the beginning of quarantine. And I think we continue to get some humour out of the very difficult steps that we have to take necessarily to keep ourselves safe.
Yeah, I was accused of looking like Timmy Mallet last week.
Yes, but to be fair, that wasn't you dressed up to go out in terms of lockdown type clothing, was it? It was well, put it this way, we will be cutting a highlights video from our first 50 shows, which we delivered during the 4 official months of shielding. Julie, in her Timothy Mallet glasses, will be prominent within that film.
Well, I want to know where the mallet was. I mean, if you know Timmy Mallet, you know Mallet's mallet, and Ju looks remarkably unscathed. So you've a missed opportunity.
It's apart from the
bald bit.
Oh yeah.
It's not bald, I'll have you know. It just looks bald because
closely shaven.
Well, let's just say that one thing about living indoors is if you're caught between 2 things, then finishing your haircut doesn't really seem a very high priority. And anybody who's known me for a long time knows I've had the same haircut for decades. I get it cut every month. I would never have believed that I could cope with about 3 months of growth and then, as with Robin and the Heat, you know, get rid of it with the dog's clippers. But I am actually, if we're all looking at one thing we've learned about ourselves that's a positive, I've learned I'm not as dependent on the barbers as I thought I was. You know, how liberating in the future I can actually go on holiday and cross a date when I should have had my hair cut. So on that happy note, do we want to have got a couple of minutes final words about today or looking forward to Friday from each of you, please?
Lovely poetry. I agree with Renee, and thank you, Renee, for your comments. They are greatly appreciated. We'll pass them on to the guys who always like a bit of appreciation, and quite rightly too. Just to mark that tomorrow is the 75th anniversary of Hiroshima, so it's Hiroshima Day, and that's marking the point at which 140,000 people were wiped out by a nuclear bomb. I think the day is important because it marks the day for peace, and that originates from Japan. That comes from the people themselves who had survived that. And I think we need to keep working towards peace as the world becomes quite chaotic at times.
Oh, well, thank you for that, Julie. And I think also for the people of Japan, it's a kind of double blow. They can't commemorate that properly, and they would have been commemorating it in the context of the games and probably doing something very significant. Final words from the West Midlands.
I just wanted to, really enjoyed the poetry from the club that was kind of put together this morning. Yeah, kind of see you all on Friday.
Okay, and for me, we know actually that the next couple of days are going to warm up again. So whilst that is absolutely lovely, do make sure you stay hydrated, and your pets do. I even have to top the fish up every now and again. And that says something. So on that serious note, have a great couple of days, and we'll see you Friday.
So, yeah, and on that note, we have a page under our pull down menu for Together TV unlocked about our animal hosts, the ones that wander around. Jazz, my assistant's dog, has made a video in the past about how to persuade dogs to drink a lot more water. It's really, really critical. This is something we discovered when he nearly died of heat stroke. And he collapsed at 10:30 at night. Heat stroke is something for humans and animals that doesn't necessarily come on straight away. So, yes, be very careful out there. Enjoy the sunshine. I'll put that link in, and we'll see you on Friday.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.